Hi, this is Monday of May long weekend, and I guess I just break the news to everybody. I know all your hearts are going to be broken. Mine's broken, it's in pieces. I'm okay. I have great friends and family here in Hamilton. Obviously, adopted family, but it's so funny. My neighbor's yelling at her kids, but they're older. It's hilarious. Everybody does it. I should have been a little harder on my two youngest, but I didn't have a girl to say no to. And Angie's the way she is. I mean, it's cute. She's badass like her mom, but anyways, my point is I had to pull Xavier's bail as his surety. I didn't want to, but I had no choice. I'm tired. It's been 4 years on taking care of him and dealing with him. And then 2 years since he got charged for attempted murder on a sexual predator. And the only thing I can think of is that's my baby. I see this little boy. And now he's all locked up in a man's prison. But you know what? He's gonna be safe because, like, I'm a G, so my babies call me G-Ma. So it's always good to have those people. People want to talk shit about knowing people in that realm, I guess, but it's always good to have them because sometimes you need those people to help you with protection. And they're the first ones to come running for you. The next day after I had to put him in, well, it's funny, but I mean, it's not. I mean, my exes were there for me. Mr. Elliott was there for me as soon as it happened because he was across the street at his brother's, which was really sweet because I'm a huge asshole. You know, mouthy me, always lipping somebody off, but I guess in their hearts, I'm there, and there's a piece of me in their hearts. And then my husband, he came with his girlfriend and had steaks, and yeah, they didn't leave my side all day so that I was okay. I took Angie to Brantford a couple weeks ago because I seen this coming. And it hurts. I came out to do my yard work. It's kind of cold out, my gardens, and every time I step foot in my house, it was just like so quiet. I like quiet, I like peace, but you know, that's Xavier was like my best friend, like, and the darkness took him from me. Everybody needs to cry though because it's healing. It's good for you. So like, don't get everybody all, oh, Sharon's all like. Obviously, I'm gonna cry. That's my son. No mother wants to put their kid behind bars, but it was to save his life. And the things that happen to our youth online, the things that they put themselves through, and relive the trauma that was created because online they just have too much access to stuff which we really can't stop. You know, I always used to tell him, like, because he says, I love listening to you, Mom, I need to hear you talk to me, and I would just ramble on about spiritual things, life, and how they all actually apply together. And that's why I say the darkness got to him. I will be vlogging. This is my first vlog, I guess. I had planned to do it like months back, but I didn't know how to start it. And I was asked for my survival story as a single mother. And I didn't really want to like share it because I'm tired of like repeating stuff and reliving trauma or anything. I just want to move on and be happy. It's really hard to be happy with my ex. His music he makes every day. I'm thankful I have wonderful neighbors. I have a beautiful street that I live on. I have a house. Probably gonna have to move now to a 2-bedroom house, which is okay, but I'll just miss this street. I'm like the only person that gets away with shit, like being an asshole. But in general, everybody loves me, including all my exes, and they still want to wife me. Just kidding. I'm glad I have relationships like that they're still there for us. Sometimes some of them have to be at a distance, but they're there. And then I have my family here in Hamilton. They're awesome. They always say, Sharon, you need to talk, but I don't want to burden anybody, and what's really there to say? Like I told the officer that night, she wanted me to put an impact statement, and I said I don't want to put anything against my son. I wish he broke something so I could just it was a mischief, but he didn't. He actually tried to fight me. He tried to fight me, and I backed him. Because I'm not going to hit my son and lose my daughter in this stupid fiasco for dumb shit. But he ripped my chains off. And then I think he ripped my chains off because it was 4 or 5 times. He just kind of slapping at me, and I just backing up. Stop. You're making it worse. You're going to be hungry. I'm going to have to bring you subs in the hospital because you'd be hungry there. But he was just gone in that psychosis. For anybody out there dealing with this kind of stuff, know that you're not alone. You might feel alone, but you're not. Oh, I thought it paused or something. I don't know. My niece, she gave me this sweater to wear home. My beautiful niece, Sahara. My little nephew, Christopher. Auntie, I want you to stay. Auntie, sit down here, watch a show with me and play kitchen. Oh yeah, I gotta go find all Angie's play food. Pots and pans or little dishes and bring it to him for his kitchen. In Bradford. It doesn't matter where I would have lived. Here, Thunder Bay, all this would have happened anyways, just in a different way. I think here it saved his life. But I know I would tell him, I named you Xavier. And that's like a savior. A savior for all these young males. For the tragedy and trauma that they go through. And that they're too scared to speak about it. Or shy or embarrassed. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. This is what society has made okay. And it's not okay. So sorry, my nose was running because I was crying. So, I think that's my ex across the street. I'm so lucky. Because they're always no matter what, we're always going to be here for you. Well, I mean, they say it obviously differently. Actually, the two of them get along now, which is funny. Because one was scared of the other one, but I'd be too if I was. But he doesn't need to be. My husband's big softie. We're not married through paper and stuff, but our souls are binded to each other no matter what. And that's why we got those. Because, he understands me. We both been through the same shit growing up. And it's just we can't be together because of who he is. And I'm okay with that, because they all accept me for me, and most solid chick around. It's just sad sitting here by myself. I'm gonna do my yard work, my gardening, like cut the lawn and stuff, and go plant pumpkins, because I like to give pumpkins out to the little kids in the neighborhood. I just think it's cute. I wasn't going to do a garden this year. I told the kids that. They're like, what? Because every year we do vegetables in a garden, but I just didn't have the energy, and I'm probably not going to be here too often. I'll be back and forth to Brantford. So the struggles of a single mother, which I've never really been single. Like, I have been by choice, and there's a lot of suitors out there that say they want to be there, all this kind of shit, but like this stuff took a toll on my last relationship. So it's very hard for me to know that anybody can handle what I'm going through. But you know what? The creator, the source, he only gives us what we can handle. And that's a freaking lot of shit on my plate. I got like a buffet, but that's okay. I'm used to it. I wouldn't have it any other way, because how else am I supposed to speak up and speak out? I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to speak out and tell our story of survival against this world, against the predators. But I'm going to. I'm going to speak loud, and I'm going to speak clearly, and I'm not backing down. We had so much support. Like, the police used to come check for his curfew and stuff like that, and they were so nice all the time. Like, hey buddy, you know, I even had them talk to him a couple times, and they're like, you have a supportive mom, like, you have a home, you have a house. You know, he knew he was spoiled too. He admitted it. Yeah, sure, we may go without money sometimes, but to me, mine of the month is baby bonus. Like, whatever, that's just the way life is. I've been through harder times before. Thank God I had my oldest son, Logan, back then. You know, he always supported his siblings and me, and that's what makes me smile, is my biggest son and my grandsons. How proud I am of them. I miss Frankie. He's so beautiful. Like my nails, guys. Sparkles. Angie always wants my black. I lie and say I don't know where it is, but black is also, it's a symbol for, I guess it's against child sex trafficking or young, like, males or anybody really. So I'll be nonstop wearing black. But I put sparkles on it because that's what the kids used to do. Paint my colors different nails, and or paint my nails different colors and then add sparkles, and it looked really sick. This is my outlet. This is where I'm going to do things, and that's what I told the lady officer. I do have ADHD, so I can jump back and forth in my storytelling, but that's just how I am. So you get, this is me. It's the way I am. Anyway, I love all you guys. I'm sorry that I had to put my foot down and save my son's life, because I'm not going to bury my son. There's too many people in our family. He's such a strong young man. He's so smart. He's so intelligent. He's spiritual. We both, like, have experienced, like, spiritual things or things in the sky together since he was like 12. And I think that's awesome that him and I can relate. So that's why I'm like, I'm losing my best friend. Because I told him, once I walk away, I'm going to walk away. I can't look back. It hurts too much. Obviously, I'm always going to be there. And just right now, I have to, like, step back.
drugs is not fun, you guys. Like, I was on that methadone and Suboxone for at least 15 years. Like, it's no joke. It's not a game. You think you're starting off with a perk, some shit, whatever, but you know what? It gets worse after that. It gets worse. You just get higher and higher and higher. They say weed's a gateway drug, but I don't know. I think prescription pills is a gateway. It's a gateway. It's a gateway to hell. Speaking of that, when my house got renovated, there was, I know what books I have. I love books. I created my library upstairs, and I was organizing the sections. I was sitting there for about a good, like, 2-3 hours. And then there was a stack of books. And it was my spiritual section, so I knew what books were actually there. And suddenly there was, hi, Tamara! Suddenly there was this black book there. And Xavier had just about come sit upstairs. And we knew the house was going to get kind of noisy when it was getting renovated. You know, it stirs up things. There was a black book, and it said verses on the side. And I'm like, I don't have a book like that. Where'd that even come from? I was sitting here, like, I've been going through these books for, like, hours organizing them. And, yeah, so there's this, I kind of just, like, shoved a book that was on top of it off. And I was like, oh, my gosh, like, what the... I don't have this book. This isn't mine. Where did this come from? Like, it legit appeared out of freaking nowhere. Because I was sitting there. I know what I was doing. Like, I know the books that I was organizing. And I guess that's why I say the darkness took him. It's real stories, like, real stories. I remember when he was 14, I was sleeping in the living room. And something grabbed my neck, like these scrawny little fingers. I don't know, I was sleeping. And I opened my eyes and I heard, your son is mine. And I jumped up because I thought Xavier had come out and, I don't know, choked me. Because that's when he started at his age acting up and shit. But that's what kids do at 14. I mean, there's no hard feelings. I always said to them, like, it's okay. Whatever you guys say, you're going to hate me at a certain age, and then you go through life, and then you're gonna realize, holy shit, she was right. I always wished for my mom. I think she was here the night it happened, because just before it happened last week, there was this, like, about 5-foot white skinny little mist that came in my room. It was like floating. It was maybe my mom thinking, coming in just before, just to protect me and say, Sharon, take your keys and your phone and leave the house now. Because I was sleeping in my room. Well, I wasn't sleeping. I was kind of off and on because I heard him get up, and there was a lot of babysitting. Which I didn't mind. He's my son. I'm going to take care of him. I never throw him away. And I know that's how he feels. But also, I do know deep inside that he's sitting there now regretting that he wished he just would have hugged me like the night before. He was in my lap crying. If it wasn't for his story, I told him, like, you created change. You created a lot of change in this community, because suddenly they were doing all kinds of workshops on human trafficking, all this kind of stuff, and just making people aware of it. And like our local, like, Native Center, you know, they kept us out of it, and I understand why, so that he wasn't triggered and I wasn't triggered, because it was just fresh to us. But we have created a lot of change in this community. We bring attention to things that aren't really spoken about. People sweep it under the rug, and you can sweep all you want stuff under the rug, but there's going to be dirt and it's going to pile up, so you might as well just clean it out. I should have brought my toilet paper because I'm fancy like that. I don't use tissue. I never thought this day would come, but I knew it was because I had told him in February that he has to start taking responsibility for just simple things like his doctor's appointments, his lawyers, his education. He's kept missing appointments, and I'm not your receptionist. And he got so upset. Like, those are things I had to do when I was 14. Well, not the lawyer stuff, but my mom made sure I knew how to do those things, and I kind of just did everything for my kids. Like, I don't know, I'm a mother, I guess. It's my job. I wish I would have done things differently and made them more responsible. And Angie's good. She's held up, She loves her brother. She loves him. That's like her best friend, too. It's the only man in the world that told us every day we were beautiful. No matter how much trauma he went through before his charges, he would tell his sister every day that she's beautiful and he loved her. Like the day that he got arrested a couple of years back, I had to call, obviously. Nobody called in the city. It was like 2-3 days going on. Nobody called. But I had like neighbors from blocks around here stop me for at least a good 6-7 months after, cry and ask us how we were doing, and that meant a lot. This is how I'm going to share my healing journey so I don't have to repeat it. Because, like, you go to therapy, counseling, whatever it is. I've done all that, so none of y'all think that I didn't do it. I did it. I had a therapist come to my house from the government of Canada 4 years straight. Every day I worked on myself. Every day. And it seemed like the more I worked on myself, the harder it got. The harder things got around me. It even got used against me, in some circumstances. And because from our teachings, we're Ojibwe, we're from the stars. So, my nickname's Anunnaki, and I call myself a hybrid goddess because I'm from the stars. Like we all are. I got called a narcissist, which basically means you think you have, you're higher than people, you have special privileges or some stuff like that. And I read it and I thought I was insulted, but then I was like, hey, wait a minute. I guess I am a narcissist, but I don't think I do have special privileges. I'm not better than anybody. Everybody can tap into the gifts if they want, which I highly recommend not to until you're ready. I mean, I don't ever use my gifts or have them. Like, I always have to block them because it's just too much. It's kind of hard here, though, because this is where all that war was. And especially having gifted children, they see things too and they have dreams. And I knew something was going to happen because Angie had a dream. So I take her back to the medicine man to protect her. And the black cloud was over her trying to get her. I know, I've seen it, so I know what she's talking about. We didn't tell the medicine man a couple years ago. This one worker, Jessica, she knew, like the workers knew about that stuff, but we didn't tell him in Toronto. And but he knew. And he chased it away. But it was coming back. Because she's coming to that vulnerable age. And that's the thing about this stuff, is that that's when they attack you. They attack you in your youth. I'm not making excuses for anything. I mean, we're humans. We're walking in this human life. And yeah, we have to make choices and there's consequences. But at the same time, there's also that other side. And anybody who's close to me that comes around me, they know, they believe it's real. It's just, yeah. So I guess that's my next step, is dealing with getting rid of that book now that it's just me here in that house, in the house. And I mean, obviously, like, Angie's with me, but she's not with me. I had to put her to her aunt's house because that's my backup plan always. Is, you know, we always had a backup plan. Like, Angie used to be at her friends down the street all the time, and she'd go there. There was a spare bedroom. Three of her different friends down the street. The family was so supportive. The families, even though she beefs with one of them, like, I have mad respect for all of them. So peace out. I love you guys. Light, love, and I'm sorry, but everybody, can you put your tobacco down? Pray for Xavier, because he's gonna save us. He's gonna save all our young male youth by telling his story and letting them know it's okay. And I hope some of them, like a lot of them, have moms like me that they can just talk to about anything. Bye.